श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। ग्रंथरा श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna. So we'll recite this verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, chapter 4, verse 69. Please repeat behind me. We are having a series of classes on the glories of Radharani. So, therefore, we are reciting a CC verse today. Since Radhashtami is coming on this coming Sunday. Mahabhava Sarupa Shri Radha Thakurani Sarva Guna Khani Krishna Kanta Shiromani. Mahabhava Sarupa Shri Radha Thakurani Sarva Guna Khani Krishna Kanta Shiromani. It's Sarva Guna Khani. Mahabhava Sarupa Shri Radha Thakurani Sarva Guna Khani Krishna Kanta Shiromani. Yeah, just a quick meaning. Mahabhava Sarupa, she is the embodiment of Mahabhava, Radha Thakurani. She is a mind. Khani means mind, Khan. She is the jewel mine of all good qualities. And she is the topmost of Krishna Kanta, consorts of Krishna. So yeah, please some of you can recite. Mahabhava Sarupa Shri Radha Thakurani Sarva Guna Khani Krishna Kanta Shiromani. Mahabhava Sarupa Shri Radha Thakurani Sarva Guna Khani Krishna Kanta Shiromani. Mahabhava Sarupa Shri Radha Thakurani Sarva Guna Khani Krishna Kanta Shiromani. Yes, mothers? Mahabhava Sarupa Shri Radha Thakurani Sarva Guna Khani Krishna Kanta Shiromani. So, Mahabhava of Mahabhava, Sarupa, the form, Shri Radha Thakurani, Srimati Radharani, Sarva Gun, of all good qualities, Khani, mind, Krishna Kanta, of the lovers of Krishna, Shiromani, crest jewel, Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Shri Radha Thakurani is the embodiment of Mahabhava. She is the repository of all good qualities and the crest jewel among the lovely consorts of Lord Krishna. Purport: the unadulterated action of the Haladini Shakti is displayed in the dealings of damsels of Vraja, and Srimati Radharani, who is the topmost participant in that transcendental group. The essence of the Haladini Shakti is love of Godhead. The essence of love of Godhead is a bhav or transcendental sentiment, and the highest pitch of that bhav is called Mahabhava. Srimati Radharani is the personified embodiment of these three aspects of transcendental consciousness. She is therefore the highest principle in love of Godhead and is the supreme lovable object of Shri Krishna. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Savidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadhamahiyam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakham Vitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhescha Kripa Sindhube Vacha Paritanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So I'd like to welcome you all. Today we are discussing the glorious qualities of Srimati Radharani. So I seek the dust of the lotus feet of all assembled devotees to be able to do so. This is a very high topic, but since Radhashtami is coming, we are making an attempt to discuss her glorious qualities. So once Chaitanya Prabhu was saying sometimes devotees feel hesitant to discuss about Srimati Radharani because it's a very high topic. But he said the scholars outside are discussing and misrepresenting everything. So the devotees should discuss in the right perspective. Right? So therefore, taking shelter of the lotus feet of our Guru Parampara, Srila Prabhupada, and all of you, I will speak something about this very high topic. This verse explains Mahabhava Sarupa. She is the personification of Mahabhava. A verse before describes, yesterday Madhav Gopal Prabhu nicely explained the tattva of Srimati Radharani. The internal potency has threefold internal potency, three division, Sandhani, Samvit and Haladini. And of that, what use is that manifestation or knowledge which cannot give happiness? Right? Someone has huge estate and someone is very knowledgeable but miserable. Na? So there is no point in. So therefore she is the essence of all the three Shaktis. So of all the three internal Shaktis, Sandhani, Samvit, Haladani, ultimately that which gives pleasure to Krishna, which serves the ultimate purpose of the entire manifestation or the purpose of knowledge. So she is the essence of the three potencies, Haladani, and Haladani Rasar Prem. And what is the sense of Haladani? Prem. Ado Shraddhavanam Shraddha to Prema. Love is the essence. Why? Because she gives happiness to Krishna, and only pure, unadulterated love can actually give happiness to Krishna. So, actually in this world, love is the only source of happiness. Nothing else, if we analyze. So it is just the love that can give us happiness, and nothing else. So therefore, Haladanira Sar Prem. But Prem Sar Bhav. You may say, hey, we read from Ado Shraddha to Prema, Bhava comes on the 8th stage. Here it is saying Prem Sar Bhav. So what is this Bhav? This is Bhav, this Prema grows through 7 more stages. Prem krame badiyai sneheman parnai rag anurag bhav mahabhava hai. So this prema also increases through 7 further stages. In that, the 6th stage is the bhav. So this bhav is the transcendental loving sentiment of the Brajavasis, or specifically the gopis, with which they serve Krishna. Right? So this bhav is different from the 8th stage where a sadhaka is practicing those. The 8th stage of the 9 stages, Shraddha to Prema. So Haladanira Sar Bhav, this transcendental sentiment of this mood of the residents of Vrindavan, that Bhav is the Sar of Prema. The perfection of the love for Krishna is found in the mood of the gopis of Vrindavan, that Bhav. And Prabhupada so beautifully says, the highest pitch of that Bhav, right, is Mahabhava. The highest pitch of that bhav is Mahabhava. So that means that's the ultimate, that's the last principle, the ultimate principle in love of Godhead. And Srimati Radharani is the embodiment of that Mahabhava. So therefore Mahabhava Sarupa Shri Radha Thakurani. Sarva Guna Khani. So she is the embodiment of Mahabhava, and she is the jewel mine of all good qualities. Sarva Guna Khani. Krishna Kanta Shiromani. She is the highest lover and the jewel man of all good qualities. So I just want to add one point in Tattva. As I said already, Mahabhava Prabhu did very nice explanation of Tattva yesterday, but one point I would like to mention, which he did not touch upon, or he left for me as an eminent Uchist, is many people, they say, why did Krishna had affair with others' wife? This is a very frequently asked question. Actually, Prabhupada would say, no, you are, like a person asked, why did Krishna dance with other wives, etc., etc., affair with other wives? Why did he have this illicit connection? And Prabhupada retorted back. He said, even your wife belongs to Krishna. Right? Your relationship is illicit, not Krishna's. Prabhupada retorted back. So therefore, actually Krishna is the possessor. From him comes everything. Janmadiyasya. He is the owner. From him originates everything. He possesses everything. Therefore, Srimati Radharani is described Krishna prema bhavitya rachitendriya kai Krishna nija shakti radha krida rasahai. She is Krishna's own potency. She belongs to Krishna. Therefore, Radharani is Swakiya. Swakiya means she belongs to Krishna. But the rasa is parakiya. We must understand. It's not that Srimati Radharani belongs to someone else, then the Krishna is having illicit connection. No. She belongs to Krishna, therefore the connection, she is Krishna's own Shakti. But the rasa is parakiya. The rasa is parakiya. So, therefore that we must understand. So, of course, parakiya rasa is most abominable in the material world. Right? If a husband or wife are having relationship with someone else outside of marriage, that is considered abominable. But it's the highest rasa of the spiritual world, the highest rasa of the spiritual world. So this rasa is facilitated by the Yogamaya, actually. So anyway, so this is another point of Tattva Siddhanta, that Srimati Radharani is actually Swakiya, belonging to Krishna, but the mellow of Vrindavan is parakiya. That mellow is enacted. The Yogamaya facilitates the pastime, because the parakiya ras, in parakiya ras, there are restrictions in meeting. There are three things actually which enhances the joy of loving pastimes. Restrictions. When there is restriction, then you restrict somebody. After the restriction, the person goes with the greater force actually. Restriction leads to also, like you restrict some rainwater, and then when you open it gushes forth, right? with greater force. So therefore there are restrictions, so the love gushes forth when the restrictions are removed by Yogamaya. And there are not the restriction, there are risks involved in the meeting. So they both are taking great risks in meeting. So the restriction, there are risks involved, and there are of course various challenges. There was a third thing also in the parakiya ras, which enhances the loving pastimes of Radha and Krishna. It maximizes the joy of their meeting. So that is in relation to the Siddhanta. As I said, today we will discuss 8 prominent qualities. Sarva Guna Khani means she is the jewel mine of all good qualities. Ananta Gun, basically. She is the reservoir of infinite transcendental qualities. But I have picked up 8 jewels to be offered to Radharani's lotus feet on this Radhashtami. So we can meditate upon them, and you can wear those 8 jewels as a Mahaprasad. It says, I am making offerings of these 8 qualities or 8 jewels at Radharani's lotus feet. They're her qualities, but just purifying my own voice and my own heart by this attempt. So the 8 qualities. The first quality is that she is the topmost worshipper of Krishna. Topmost worshipper of Krishna. Krishna vancha purti rupa kare aradhane yate eva radhika nam purane va khane. What is the name Radha or Radhika means? That word comes from aradhana. Krishna vancha purti rupa kare aradhane. So she is the topmost worshipper because she worships the Lord for his satisfaction. In this world, if you see any worshipper, they are worshipping, but they want something. They want something. Most of the people want something material, but even others, sadhakas also want something spiritual. Right? We want that we may control our mind, senses. We want something. Of course, to desire something spiritual is also desirelessness in one sense, but her love is even more selfless than anyone else, than any other practitioner. So, Krishna Vancha Purti Rupa, just for Krishna's satisfaction alone, she serves Krishna. Right? Krishna Vancha Purti Rupa Kare Aradhane At ev Radhika Nam Purane Vakhane. Therefore, Puranas called her Radhika because of Aradhana. The same word is also used by Shukdev Goswami. Shukdev Goswami has given reference of Srimati Radharani only indirectly in one verse. Anaya Radhito Nunam Bhagavan Haririshwara Yanno Vihaya Govinda Prito Yam Anayadraha. So she is the best worshipper. She is the topmost worshipper. Therefore Krishna, he gave up the company of other gopis and was with Srimati Radharani alone. So therefore we should understand that Srimati Radharani is the head pujari. She is the head pujari of Krishna. Once His Holiness Radhana Swami Maharaj was standing and Jananyas Prabhu was there, Madhvacharya Prabhu was there. Madhvacharya Prabhu in Chopadi was the head pujari that time. And some other devotee came and there were a group of devotees standing, and then one brahmachari said, so this is Madhvacharya Prabhu, he's our head pujari. He was just introducing the group to another devotee in front of Jananath Prabhu and Radhanath Maharaj. So he said, he's Madhvacharya Prabhu, is the head pujari. Maharaj said, no, Jananath Prabhu is the head pujari. He is simply an ass. Then Maharaj said, assistant head pujari. Right, ass. So assistant head pujari, and Jananath Prabhu said, Radharani is the head pujari. Right, Radharani is the head pujari. So I am also an ass, kind of. He indicated, didn't say explicitly, but he indicated. So we all are, whenever we are serving, we all are assistants. That in that mood we serve. So she is the head pujari, she is the topmost worshipper of Krishna. She worshipped Krishna only for his satisfaction. And the word which is just the opposite of Radha is aparat. The word Radha comes in the word aparat. What is that? Just the opposite. So therefore, when we commit offenses, we disconnect ourselves from Radharani's mercy. We are disconnected. It's just totally against her nature. Just totally against her nature. Therefore, one thing we have to be very cautious of if we want Srimati Radharani's mercy and thus Krishna's mercy is we avoid aparat, just the opposite of the name Radha. The second quality is that, yes, first is that she is the topmost worshipper. Second is she is the reservoir of all love. Reservoir of all love. As we just discussed, Ladanira sar prem, prem sar bhav, bhavera param kashta nam mahabhav. So she is the reservoir of all love. And Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami describes, he first describes what is the definition of love. Before describing Srimati Radharani's love, he says, Atmendriya priti vancha tare balikam Krishnendriya priti ichha dhare prema nam. So when one wants to satisfy one's senses, that is calm. But desire to satisfy Krishna's senses is actually love. So it's mentioned, yes, there was one time, one brahmachari, he was in Gaudiya Math, he was singing Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and he was singing in a, very, very exotic raga, which no one was able to follow. A lot of ups and downs and so on and so forth. So Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur, he noticed that and he said, he is singing for his pleasure, not for the pleasure of the Lord. He remarked that. He wants to show that how great a singer am I. So many times we may perform devotional service. We may sing, we may do the arti of the Lord, right, in a very fascinating way like this, right, whatever. Sometimes we want to show off. That mentality may come in our hearts. We want to show off that I am very learned. I may speak many shlokas to show off how learned I am. But one should know that one should once again and again see that whatever activity of bhakti we perform, we should do it for the Krishna's pleasure. And that is the love. Krishnendriya priti ichha dhare prema nam. So therefore Vishwanath Thakur says, the karma is first performed and then offered. The activity of the bhakti are first offered for the pleasure of the Lord and then performed. Therefore consciously, whatever we do in bhakti, offer it to the Lord for His pleasure first. Krishnendriya priti ichha. And then perform. They are offered first. So that's important. So therefore, again Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, Krishna ke karaye shyam ras madhupan nirantar purna kare Krishnera sarva kam. So she actually, makes Krishna drink the ambrosial nectar of the conjugal mallow, and at every moment she makes Krishna, she is meditating on how to satisfy Krishna. Nirantar purna kare Krishnera sarva kam. So in this way, she is the reservoir of all love, or she is the highest lover of Krishna. There is another symptom of love. One thing is just to satisfy Krishna's senses, all activities performed. The second symptom of love described by Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami is in the pastime of Madhavendra Puri. Pragada preme rai svabhava achar nij dukha vigna hadir na kare vichar. The symptom of love is that a person who loves doesn't mind difficulties and inconveniences to serve the beloved, right? Or the beloved to serve the lover. So therefore that is the mood of Srimati Radharani. Or we can say another symptom of love is sacrifice. Love is nourished through sacrifice. So therefore Srimati Radharani has that highest mood of sacrificing everything for Krishna. And in her own words, she says, Na gani apmana dukha sabe vanchi tara sukha amara tatparya more yadi diya dukha tara haila mahasukha sai sukha more sukha varya. So she says, Na gani apana dukha sabe vanchi tara sukha. Doesn't matter if there is some difficulty, inconvenience, unhappiness to me, I only want Krishna's happiness. His happiness is my only goal. If becoming unhappy, if Krishna making me unhappy feels happy, then that unhappiness is my greatest happiness, she says. Right? More yadi diya dukh tar haila mahasukh. If Krishna becomes happy by making me unhappy, then that unhappiness is my greatest happiness. Right? So that is the mood of sacrifice Srimati Radharani has. For this, these are two symptoms of love described, and she embodies those symptoms to the highest degree. Therefore, she is the highest lover or the reservoir of all love. The third great quality of Srimati Radharani is she is expert. She is expert in many arts. So, can you recall some? What is Srimati Radharani expert at? Let's hear. Let's begin from Mataji's side. Yes, she is expert in making bhoga for the Lord. Expert in cooking. Expert cook. Okay, good. Something else? Huh? Singing and dancing. Good. Singing and dancing. Cooking, singing, dancing. Something else? She is a great artist also. Great artist also. Yes. Something else? Playing veena, musical instruments, singing, dancing, even playing the instruments. Expert. Krishna learns singing from Srimati Radharani, even flute playing. Yes. Huh? Yeah, talking, pleasing talk. Ramyavan, that quality is kind of Ramyavan. She is talks, and that talk is very pleasing. Yes, that also is her expertise. Anything else? Glorifying Krishna, also condemning Krishna sometimes out of love. But both are symptoms of love. Yes. Decorating, artist, decoration, painting, decoration, yes. Dressing, she is expert in dressing, art of dressing, yes. Oh, the flower decorations, flower garlands, amazing, yes. Oh, okay, that's yesterday, class from yesterday's point. Yeah, point from yesterday's class. She knows Krishna's heart even more than Krishna. She is so expert. Okay, that point is also well accepted. Prabhupada says she is also very cunning. One of her expertise is cunning. Once Prabhupada asked the devotees, am I simple or I am cunning? Devotee said, Prabhupada, you are simple. Prabhupada said, no, I am cunning. I cheated you. Right? I cheated you from your material attachments and brought you to the lotus feet of Krishna. So therefore, that cunning nature also can be used in Krishna's service. She expertly uses that also. Prabhupada writes in, there are 25 qualities described in chapter 23 of Madhya Leela. Anantaguna Radhikar Panchisha Pradhan. She has unlimited qualities, but 25 are prominent that is mentioned. So Panchi sa pradhan. Yar guna vasya hai Krishna Bhagavan, and through this quality she completely controls Krishna. So in this way, she is expert in many arts, and we discussed. Also she is expert in loving pastimes or vilasani, that means enjoying life, Prabhupada says. She is expert in enjoying life. And Prabhupada would say, actually the devotees are expert in enjoying life. Materialists only think they are enjoying life, but they are suffering. But only devotees are enjoying life, truly speaking. So in this way, she is expert. Regarding her expertise in cooking, so since I have some inclination towards cooking and kitchen, so I want to elaborate that a little bit. So Durvasa rathaite ho paya chenavar amrit thaite pakatar adhika madhur. So one Durvasa Muni gave the benediction. She served Durvasa Muni. Others were fearful to approach Durvasa Muni when he came to Vraja. She served, and Durvasa Muni was so satisfied with this Lali's service that he gave, whatever you will cook will be sweeter than nectar, tastier than nectar. And one who eats prasadam cooked by you will not, first of all, will relish, will develop good health and not develop any disease. Will never be diseased. So this news came, spread in Braj. Radharani has received Durvasa's benediction. Durvasa is a great sage, and Brajvasi, they all respect the sage, all the sages. So the great sage has given the benediction that whatever she cooks will be like Amrit and no one will fall sick. When Mother Yashoda heard, she became excited because mothers had difficult time to feed children, so on and so forth. So of course then she said, if Radharani can cook for Krishna, first of all Krishna will eat nicely, he will develop good health, and he will never become diseased. So therefore she wrote to Brishvanu Maharaj and Kirtida, please, it is my earnest request, send Radharani daily to Nandagaon to cook for Krishna. So on the bank of Pavan Sarovar, there is a Radha Rasoi, place called Radha Rasoi. She would daily come to cook for Krishna, and today also in Aprakat Leela, she daily cooks for Krishna. She daily cooks for Krishna. So therefore, that is another cooking pastime. And it is said that she never repeats any dish. That means probably that would mean that every time she cooks, even if the same dish, it has a unique flavor. It's a newer flavor. Just to give an example, you can see in like say Radha Shyam Sundar, Radha Madhav, they are being dressed for last 50 years. Even if they wear the same dress, it's a new darshan. It's a different shingar. You can see that. It will not, no two darshan will be the same. You can check. In the 50 years plus history of Iskcon, you can see darshan Radha Madhav, Radha Shyam Sundar, Radha London Ishwar. No two darshan, if the dress is same, no two darshan are the same. They are unique. Therefore, her cooking is also has a unique flavor every time. Krishna relishes that. So that is another expertise of her cooking. Of course, I just want to mention that it's not that she gained this expertise by the benediction of Durvasa. Durvasa was blessed by having the opportunity to give this benediction. Actually, right? He became an instrument. So therefore, it was his blessing for him that he became an instrument in this pastime. Right? But she is eternally expert in cooking for Krishna, and no one can match her cooking skills. In fact, in Kumbh Mela, Prabhupada was there in 1971-77. This is 1977, which was Ardha Kumbh. And Prabhupada was there, and he saw that there was not prasadam distribution taking place. There was no bhoga stock, not elaborate cooking, and he became very angry. He said, why there is no prasadam stock? Why there is no cooking and prasadam distribution? And he would explain, we could not procure bhoga because of financial difficulties and so on and so forth. Prabhupada said, Radharani is the kitchen in charge. She is the source of all Lakshmi. How can there be any shortage? He didn't went into details of finance and balance sheet. He said, he just didn't accept that point. He said, Radharani is kitchen in charge. there cannot be any shortage. Only if you don't mismanage, then Radharani will perfectly manage everything. So even the pujaris, though the cook in the temple, they actually understand that we are cooking, but actually Radharani is cooking, or Lakshmi is cooking for Narayan. So she is the head cook in all the temples also. Just like the head pujari, the head cook is also Srimati Radharani. When Jagannath Pandit made a nice feast for Lord Chaitanya, and Lord Chaitanya praised the cooking of Jagannath Pandit, Jagannath Pandit said, Pandit kahe, ye khai be sahi pak karta. He said, I am not the cook. One who is honoring, he is the cook. He tells to Lord Chaitanya, ye khai be sahi pak karta, ama sab keval matra samagriya harta. I have only brought the ingredients together. Such a sweet mood. So when we are cooking for Krishna, when we have the privilege of cooking for the Lord, we should know Radharani is the cook. I am only bringing the ingredients together. In that mood we should cook for Krishna. So that is regarding the expertise in cooking, which I elaborated a little extra. The fourth quality is that she is most beautiful. She is most beautiful. And that is even Madhav Gopal Prabhu needed a pastime how Rukmini Devi, she is also extremely beautiful, but she fainted on seeing the beauty of Radharani, but realized she was not Radharani. She was one of her maid servant, one of the million gopis. So we'll recite one verse from Radhika Ashtakam. Do we have it here? Fourth verse, Vishwa Vandeya Vatabhi Vanditapi Arama. So she is most beautiful and also most worshipable. So this fourth quality, she is most beautiful and most worshipable. We can even recite third and fourth. They describe beautifully the beauty of Srimati Radharani. Someone can play Kartal also, and you can repeat behind me. So this Radhika Ashtakam by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, where he beautifully describes the beauty of Srimati Radharani. So Kumarya Shishta Pallavali Kirti Nigraha Chandra Chandanot Palendu Sevya Shita Vigraha. Swabhimarsha Vallavisha Kamatapabadhika Mahiyamatma Pada Padma Dasya Dastu Radhika. Vishwavandayo Vatapi Vanditapi Yarama Rupanavyayo Vanadi Sampadana Yatsama. Shila Hardalilaya Chasayatostinadhika Mahiyamatma Pada Padma Dasya Dastu Radhika. So these are two beautiful verses glorifying the beauty of Srimati Radharani. So Kumarya, so she is so youthful and delicate, just like the newly grown leaf or just a very newly blossomed petal of a rose flower. You can see the newly blossomed petal of a rose flower, and that's how youthful and delicate she is. And Chandra Chandanot Palendu Sevya, all the cooling things in this world, what are the things which cool, give a cooling sensation? Chandan, Chandra, Utpala, Indu. Right? So the camphor, sandalwood, the moon, right? The lotus flower is also cooling. But they all, Sevya Shita Vikra, they all serve her form which actually gives the most cooling sensation to Krishna. So all Krishna's burning desires are satisfied by Srimati Radharani's most cooling touch. Therefore, when we take shelter of lotus feet, we can be fully relieved from the tap of this world. That's described her Kumarya and her cooling touch. The next verse, of course, I just would also like to mention that. So, once His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, he was telling the pujaris once again that how should Srimati Radharani be dressed, and he gave 2 words. He said, whenever you dress her, so the choice of the flowers, the garland, the ornaments, remember the 2 words, those who dress Srimati Radharani, fine and delicate. Fine and delicate. He said those 2 words, fine and delicate. So the dressing should be very fine and delicate. Principally he spoke. So therefore Srimati Radharani is very delicate. This word describes her Kumarya. The next word describes Vishwavandya, those who are worshipable. Vishwavandya, like Parvati and other Devis, Vishwavandya Yavatabhi, they worship goddess of fortune. And that goddess of fortune worships Srimati Radharani. Or indirectly that is said, Rupa Navya Yavanadi Sampadana Yatsama. So even goddess of fortune, who is worshipable by the worshipable goddesses. So even she cannot match the beauty and the youth and the delicate nature of Srimati Radharani. So her youthfulness, her delicate nature is unmatched by anyone else. Not just that, she manifests even greater beauty than Krishna. She manifests even greater beauty than Krishna. So I would like to read this purport of Prabhupada, which gives this beautiful insight. Atro prashishtam echichotsmitam indiraya swanam dhiya virachitam bahushashtavadhyam. It said in the Vaikuntha world, this is 3:15:42 purport. In the Vaikuntha world, the beauty of Narayan is enhanced, magnified by the intelligence of his devotees. Or the devotees, they decorate Narayan, his servants, they decorate Narayan, and his beauty is magnified by the intelligence of the devotees. And his beauty defeats the beauty of goddess of fortune. So in Vaikuntha, Narayan is more beautiful than Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune. But Prabhupada says, in Vrindavan, Radharani manifests greater beauty than Krishna. He explained in that purport. Why? Because the devotees in Vrindavan are more inclined towards Radharani. They want to see Radharani manifest greater beauty. Therefore, Krishna is Madan Mohan and she is Madan Mohan Mohini. Yeah. So, Prabhupada has beautifully explained in the purport himself. There is another beautiful pastime regarding Srimati Radharani's beauty. Once Mother Tungabhadra Devi, she made a new outfits for Radha Ras Bihari. This is 1972. And Prabhupada he took darshan. And while taking darshan, Prabhupada was smiling very broadly, or very brightly, bright smile. And he offered obeisances, full dandavats. While offering obeisances, Prabhupada turned his head and again took darshan and again smiled. Just imagine, while offering dandavats also. And then Prabhupada again got up and he was absorbed in taking darshan. And the devotees pushed Mother Tungabhadra Devi, who had switched the new outfits. And the Prabhupada, looking at her, said, "Thank you so much. Make thousands of such outfits for Radha Ras Bihari." In 1972, when there was a tin shade, the temple was under tin shade. Make thousands of such outfits for Radha Ras Bihari. Even no temple today has 1,000 outfits, right? After 50 years. But Prabhupada always, he never knew any restriction in the service of the Lord. He said, make thousands of such outfits for Radha Ras Bihari and make Radharani more beautiful than Krishna. then Krishna will never leave. So, the dress Radharani is more beautiful than Krishna, Prabhupada told her. So that was another very sweet pastime regarding the beauty of Srimati Radharani. She manifests greater beauty than even Krishna in Vrindavan. The fifth of her quality, which is another amazing quality, is she takes pleasure in uniting others with Krishna. Right? It's mentioned, Yadyapi sakhira Krishne sangame nahi man tathapi radhika yatne karana sangam. So the other sakhis and the other sakhis of Radharani, the Ashta sakhis, they simply want to assist Radha Krishna's pastime. They simply want to unite Radha and Krishna. But they have no personal desire to unite with Krishna. But she makes the effort to unite her sakhis with Krishna. That is mentioned. Nana chale Krishna preri sangama karai. She goes out of the way, Nana chale, on different pretexts. She makes other sakhis unite with Krishna. Atma Krishna sangha haite koti sukha pai. And she derives million times greater happiness in uniting her other gopi friends, her other sakhis with Krishna, than when she unites with Krishna. Atma Krishna sangha haite koti sukha pai. She derives million times greater happiness in uniting others, sakhis with Krishna. Just imagine. So this is very important quality. That means for us sadhakas, if we can take pleasure in seeing others advance in Krishna consciousness, other advance in their service toward Krishna, that is the nature of Srimati Radharani. That attitude will please Srimati Radharani so much and will become recipient of her infinite causeless mercy. So this is another amazing quality of Srimati Radharani. The sixth quality is that which Krishna himself says, that she is everything for me. She is everything for me. Sahaya Guru Vashishya Bhujishya Bandhava Striyaha Satyam Vadami Te Partha Gopyaha Kimme Bhavantina. O Partha, Lord Krishna is speaking, I speak to you the truth. The gopis, the word in general, and Srimati Radharani in specific, they are my helpers, Sahaya. They are my teachers, Guruvaha. They are my Shishya, the disciples. They are my Jishya, they are my servants. Bandhava, they are my friends. Striyaha, they are my consorts. I do not know what they are not to me, Krishna says. So this is another, that they serve Krishna in every possible way. Krishna is feel that Srimati Radharani is the gopi, as I said in journal, but it is, the word specifically applies to Srimati Radharani over here. So what they are not to me, what Srimati Radharani is not to me. So she is everything to Krishna. That's the sixth quality. The seventh quality is that she is absorbed in Krishna, completely absorbed in Krishna. So this absorption in Krishna, to what extent is she absorbed in Krishna? It is described in the sixth verse of Radhika Ashtakam. So we'll sing the sixth verse, her absorption and the limit of her absorption. Do we have it on the screen? The sixth verse. Yes. Nitya Navya Rupa Keli Krishna Bhava Sampada Krishna Raga Bandha Gopa Yovateshu Kampada. Krishna Rupa Vesha Keli Lagna Sat Samadhika Mahiyamatma Pada Padma Dasya Dasturadhika. Mahiyamatma Pada Padma Dasya Dasturadhika Mahiyam Pada Padma Dasya Dastu Radhika. So, Krishna Rupa Vesha Keli Lagna Sat Samadhika. She is absorbed in meditating on Krishna's form. Krishna Rupa Vesha Keli, the pastime. Lagna Sat Samadhika. She is always in a state of samadhi, like a trance and a complete absorption. What are the things which reminds her of Krishna? What are the things which reminds her of Krishna? Yes, Krishna Prabhu? Bumblebee. Okay, bumblebee reminds our Krishna, fine. More specific, wait a minute, yes? Butter reminds our Krishna, well, Krishna's form. Let's be more specific. What reminds our Krishna's form? The blackish complexion of Krishna's form. Tamal tree. She sees tamal tree, she just immediately think of Krishna. Rather, she runs to embrace the tamal tree. What are the other things that reminds her of Krishna? Yes, Gaurnam Prabhu. Huh? The cloud. Sometimes she sees a black cloud and she faints. And rainy season, sometimes when we see a black cloud, we think, oh, it's going to rain. Where is my umbrella? Oh, I forgot it there. So black cloud reminds her of Krishna. To the extent she may faint on seeing a black cloud. What else reminds her of Krishna? Huh? Peacock, the neck of the peacock also has the complexion of Krishna. Neck of peacock reminds of Krishna. What else reminds of Krishna? The complexion. Her own hair. Not every black thing. What else reminds of Krishna? Black thing which is mentioned in the scriptures. Huh? Yellow dress. Krishna's form. Krishna's complexion. Yamuna river. The complexion of Yamuna river reminds of Krishna. The complexion of blue lotus reminds of Krishna. The black deer reminds of Krishna. Right? Krishna Sara. So in this way, there are certain specific objects mentioned in the scriptures. Of course, there could be more. You can expand your imagination, but we can restrict it to the objects mentioned in the scriptures. So they all remind of our Krishna continuously. So in this way, Prabhupada used to say actually, how do we see Krishna everywhere? Once devotee asked, how do we see Krishna everywhere? Prabhupada said, do we see like Krishna's Shyam Sundar form, Tribhanga form, in every part and parcel, every tree, every object? Prabhupada said, no. Prabhupada took off his specs. He said, when you see my specs, whom do you remember? He said, you, Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, that's how we remember Krishna. That's how we see Krishna or remember him. Right? By seeing everything in relation to Krishna. Right? When you see my specs, you remember me. In this way, everything of this world ultimately, can remind us of Krishna. And we can be absorbed in Krishna, Krishna Samadhi, that way. So that's the seventh quality of Srimati Radharani, how she is absorbed. Of course, many things can be said, but I don't want to take too much of a time also. The eighth and the most important quality, I reserve the last, eighth quality, the most important for the last, the best for the last. Any guesses? Karunya, her compassion or mercy. Good. Gaurnam Prabhu. So I reserve the best for the last. Her Karunya, she is Karuna Purna. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, where 25 qualities are described, one of it is that she is filled, complete with compassion, or her heart is full of compassion, basically. So that is the quality of Karuna, or being compassionate. And she once he told me Radhanath Swami Maharaj was giving a talk, and he was mentioning of the mercy of Srimati Radharani, right? Her Karuna. And we know there is a famous story of her showing karuna to a she jackal. Just she was suffering in a hole. The children had lit the fire. I'm not going to the detail. But that hole represents this material existence. Right? So there was she jackal which was trapped, and the children had lit the fire and she was suffering. And Srimati Radharani immediately sent Lalita Sakhi to rescue the she jackal. And said the jackal is the lowliest of all the animals. So a devotee should consider oneself to be like a jackal. Like other animals are glorified for their strength. Even Lord Chaitanya is compared to Simha. Chaitanya Simhera Navadipe avatar. So the Simha is glorified for one's strength, courage. Many animals are glorified for their beauty, for their some aspect. Jackal is never glorified for anything. Only howling is creating disturbance. So jackal is ugly also. So the jackal is considered outcast even among the animals. The jackal. So in general, a devotee should feel, I am like a jackal. Have no good qualities. Kichu nahi mora guna. That is our situation. And we are trapped in the hole of the material existence. And threefold miseries are burning us like the fire. If we just cry out for her mercy, then what will happen? She will send the spiritual master. Lalita Sakhi represents the spiritual master to rescue us. So, there's a beautiful song. Ramesh Baba, he sings in Braj, many Brajvasis sing. Since on Radha Ashtami, we can just... That song is very simple and begging the mercy of Srimati Radharani. So we'll just briefly sing two, three lines of that song. You can sing behind me. We don't need it to be displayed also. Radhe Kishori Daya Karo Shyama Ladli Daya Karo Daya Karo Radhe Daya Karo Daya Karo Radhe Daya Karo Radhe Kishori Daya Karo Shyama Ladli Daya Karo. So this is begging for the mercy of Radharani, which should be our ultimate aspiration on this upcoming Radha Ashtami, or which is the ultimate aspiration of our lives, basically. Right? So Raghunath Das Goswami has, there is a beautiful verse by Raghunath Das Goswami where he describes that she is so compassionate that she melts in compassion. Right? So we'll recite that verse. You have that verse here? Bhajami Radham. Yeah, display it. Yes. So you can just repeat behind me. Another beautiful verse in glorification of the karuna, the compassion of Srimati Radharani. Bhajami Radham Aravinda Netram Smarami Radham Madhura Smitasyam Vadami Radham Karuna Bharadram Tato Mamanyaste Gatirna Kapi. So very beautifully he said, Bhajami Radham Aravinda Netram. I worship Srimati Radharani who has lotus petal eyes. Smarami Radham Madhura Smitasyam. I remember that beautiful Srimati Radharani who has a very sweet smile on her face. And Vadami, Yeah, so I speak or I glorify Srimati Radharani, who is Karuna Bhara Adram, Karuna Bharadram. So she's so filled with Karuna that she has melted. Adram is to melt. So one who is melted in compassion, I glorify her. And the last, Tato Mam Anyasti, Katir Nakapi. I have no other resort, I have no other shelter than the mercy of Srimati Radharani. So therefore our ultimate aspiration is the mercy of Srimati Radharani. And Krishna also says to Narada Muni that, O Narada, Satyam Satyam, Punha Satyam, Satyam Satyam, Punha Punha. He says, I speak to you, O Narada, I speak truth to you. Vina Radha Prasadena Mat Prasado Na Vidyate. That without the mercy of Radharani, one cannot attain my mercy. So in this way, again I would like to conclude with another beautiful purport of Srila Prabhupada. This is in the second canto. Prabhupada very beautifully brings out what should we aspire for on Radhashtami. He beautifully glorifies Srimati Radharani in the second canto purport. This is the verse Jivan Shavo Bhagavatangri Renum. Can we open on the folio? Jivan Shavo. I can tell you the verse number is 2323. 2323. Jivan Shavo Bhagavatangri Renum Na Jatu Martyo Abhilabeta Yastu Shri Vishnu Padya Manujastulasyaha Swashan Shavo Yastu Naveda Gandham. Do we have that? 2-3 purport if you have. Fine, I am reading if you are able to. Oh, you have it. Okay, good. So just recite the verse behind me. Jivan Shavo Bhagavatangri Renum Na Jatu Martyo Bhilabeta Yastu Shri Vishnu Padya Manujastulasyaha Shasan Shavo Yastu Naveda Gandham. The person who has not at any time received the dust of the feet of the Lord's pure devotees upon his head is certainly a dead body. And the person who has never experienced the aroma of the tulsi leaves from the lotus feet of the Lord is also a dead body, although breathing. So then Prabhupada gives a beautiful purport. Prabhupada explains that according to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the breathing body is called a ghost. The breathing dead body is called a ghost. When a man dies, he is called dead, but when he again appears in a subtle form, not visible to our present vision, and yet acts, such a dead body is called ghost. Prabhupada says ghosts always create disturbance. I am summarizing. Similarly, non-devotees also create many disturbances for the devotees. And then Prabhupada, continues to say, the Lord never accepts any offering by such impure ghosts. Non-devotees, Prabhupada directly calling them impure ghosts. There is a common saying that one should first love the dog of the beloved before one shows any loving sentiments for the beloved. The stage of pure devotion is attained by sincerely serving a pure devotee of the Lord. The first condition of devotional service to the Lord is therefore to be the servant of a pure devotee. And this condition is fulfilled by the statement, reception of the dust of the lotus feet of a pure devotee who has also served another pure devotee. Okay, so therefore today the dust means that is the first condition, and that means to become a servant of a pure devotee. This is the way of pure disciplic succession or devotional parampara. Maharaj Rahugana inquired from the great saint Jada Bharat as to how he had attained such a liberated stage of a Paramhamsa, and in answer the great saint replied, Rahugana tat tapasana yati nache jaya nirvapanad grihadva na chandasana vijalagni surya vina mahatpadara jobhishekam. O King Rahugana, the perfectional stage of devotional service or the Paramhamsa stage of life cannot be attained unless one is blessed by the dust of the feet of great devotees. It is never attained by tapasya, the Vedic worshipping process, the acceptance of renounced order of life, the discharge of the duties of the household life, the chanting of the Vedic hymns, or the performance of penances in the hot sun, within cold water, or before the blazing fire. Right? So, the same point is what Prahlad has said, is emphasized. Prahlad Maharaj also emphasized taking the dust of the lotus feet of pure devotees. In other words, Lord Krishna is the property. Now Prabhupada takes it to Vrindavan. Right? In other words, Lord Krishna is the property of his pure unconditional devotees, and as such only the devotees can deliver Krishna to another devotee. Krishna is never obtainable directly. Lord Chaitanya therefore designated himself as Gopi Bharatuhu Padkamalayor Das Das Anudasaha, or the most obedient servant of the Lord. And not just the servant of the servant, the most obedient servant of the Lord, who maintains the Gopi damsel at Vrindavan. A pure devotee therefore never approaches the Lord directly, but tries to please the servant of the Lord's servant, and thus the Lord becomes pleased. And only then can the devotee relish the taste of tulsi leaves stuck to his lotus feet. In the Brahma Samhita, it is said that the Lord is never to be found by becoming a great scholar of the Vedic literature, but is very easily approachable through his pure devotee. In Vrindavan, all pure devotees pray for the mercy of Srimati Radharani. You see how Prabhupada beautifully develops a purport. Right? We need the dust of the lotus feet of the pure devotee, become a servant of the pure devotee, and then he comes to Vrindavan, right? And then he comes to Srimati Radharani, who is the topmost of all devotees. In Vrindavan, all the pure devotees pray for the mercy of Srimati Radharani, the pleasure potency of Lord Krishna. Srimati Radharani is a tender-hearted, feminine counterpart of the Supreme Whole. See such a profound statement. In the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Srimati Radharani is a tender-hearted, feminine counterpart of the Supreme Whole, resembling the perfectional stage of the worldly feminine nature. Therefore, the mercy of Radharani is available very readily to the sincere devotees. And once she recommends such a devotee to Lord Krishna, the Lord at once accepts the devotee's admittance into his association. The conclusion is therefore that one should be more serious about seeking the mercy of a devotee than that of the Lord directly. And by once doing so, by the goodwill of a devotee, natural attraction for the service of the Lord will be revived. That's a very profound purport. So in this way, we on this Radhashtami, we actually should aspire to be the servant of the servant of the servant of Srimati Radharani, to take the dust of their lotus feet. So that's the ultimate aspiration. I will just conclude with the words of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. He said, to be the servant of the servant of the servant of Srimati Radharani is the ultimate necessity of the soul. Jai Srimati Radharani ki jai, Shri Radha Vrindavan Bihari ki jai, Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna. So thank you very much. It's already over time. I apologize for taking extra time, making you forcibly sit here. But I seek dust of your lotus feet to be forgiven and blessed. Hare Krishna. Nitai Gaur Premanande.